Staying in local news, the Ceylon Teachers Services Union says that it will not take part in any paper marking carried out by the Department of Examinations. Meanwhile, the Ceylon Teachers Union points out that if the Department of Examinations attempts to correct the 2012 A-level answer scripts without involving the university teachers, they will refrain from paper marking as well. Such statements regarding the 2012 advanced level examination are being made in a backdrop where the examination is almost coming to an end.
Issuing a communique, the Ceylon Teacher Services Union points out that they will not participate in any paper marking carried out by the Department of Examinations until the services of the university teachers are enlisted for this purpose.
It
is the teachers who educate the children of this country from year 1 to 13. These teachers do not approve of taking any decision which would put the future or education of these children in jeopardy. Therefore, the Ceylon Teachers Services Union has decided to refrain from all paper marking. If instead of acquiescing to the demands of the university lecturers and involving them in the paper marking process, they decide instead to allow an alternative method by using school teachers or education officials for this purpose, then we will work towards defeating such a proposal.
Over the past 2 months, university teachers have been carrying out a trade union action citing several demands, including the allocation of 6% of the country's GDP for the education sector. The university teachers noted that they will not engage in paper marking until their demands are met. In such a backdrop, the Ministry of Higher Education decided to temporarily close down all universities except medical faculties yesterday.
The King of Swaziland visited this country recently. Even in his country, 4.5% of GDP is allocated for education. Swaziland is one of the poorest countries in the world. We require written agreement. We are not prepared to denigrate our struggle by agreeing to any sort of such agreement.
Meanwhile, a protest was held opposite the Fort railway station this afternoon, calling on the officials to provide solutions to the issues that have cropped up in the education sector. The protest was led by opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe.
These children have been driven to despair. They are shedding tears. There is no need to fire tear gas here. Even if they do fire tear gas, these children have no tears left to shed. It has come to such a situation.
It
has become the government's policy to provide education for the upper classes and to deny education to children from rural areas. The government has handed the contract to implement this policy to the two education ministers.
Although a number of public representatives point out that there are burning issues within the education sector, this is what the Minister of Education had to say in Parliament yesterday.
It must be clear to this House as to how and in which sector a collapse has taken place. But no one can say as to which sector in education and how this collapse has taken place. If education in Sri Lanka has collapsed, then what about in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan and Afghanistan? There are international reports with which we can draw comparisons.
Meanwhile, opposition parliamentarians also expressed their views with regard to the crisis in the education sector in Parliament today.
You have
closed all universities since yesterday.
Breakdown, always breakdown.
How can you close these and become a world hub?
ලෝකේ හබ් එක බවට පත් කරන්න හබ් එකක් නැතුව යන සයිස් එකට තමයි දැන් පත් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මම අහන්න කැමති කවද්ද ඔබතුමා මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ටික ඇරලා මේක විසඳුමක්ද මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ආචාර්යවරුන්ගේ අර්බුදයට වැඩි කරන්න කොහොමද කියලා අහන්නේ දැන්. ඒක මම අහන්නේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල.
When will you open these universities? How are you going to increase lecturer salaries when universities are closed?
සමහර ආයතන වල භාගයක් වැඩ කරනවා.
Some of the institutions are semi-operational, some children are attending and other children are not. So we have closed these for a few days.
දීලා මේක නැවත ආරම්භ කරන්න. එතකොට මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල සේරම පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා කිව්වේ. ඒ නිසා විශ්වවිද්‍යාල වැහුවා අපි පුළුවන් තරම් ඉක්මනින්.
අමතුමා පාලක සභාවලට විතරයිනේ මේවා වහන්න පුළුවන්.
කරුණා කරලා උසස් අධ්‍යාපන ඔබතුමා නීතිඥයෙක්නේ. උසස් අධ්‍යාපන පනත අරගෙන බලන්න.
It's time now for the cartoon of the day, which we selected from amongst today's English newspapers.
Maldivian President Dr. Mohamed Wahid, accompanied by Madam Wahid and a delegation of senior ministers and officials, are due to arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow on a 3-day official visit. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, the delegation will arrive in the island on an invitation extended by President Mahinda Rajapaksa. News First had an exclusive interview with Maldivian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Hussein Shihab, on the visit of Dr. Mohamed Wahid.
President Wahid is looking at economic development in the country, stronger ties with other countries, and this visit will help to establish those ties, not establish but strengthen those ties during this visit. He will be having talks with the ministers of Sri Lanka, and he is bringing a delegation of ministers with him. Their counterparts are having official talks tomorrow, and they would decide on many ways in which we could strengthen economic ties of tourism, and also in areas like export and import.
Issues over the sale of tickets in Sri Lanka for the 2011 ICC Cricket World Cup. Investigations yet to be held. 1,000 rupee tickets for the test leg of the 2011 Australia tour of Sri Lanka sold at 5,000 rupees, apparently on a promotional basis. Fans claim that they did not receive the promised benefits. The minimum price of a ticket at the 2012 Sri Lanka-England Test Series set at 5,000 rupees. Foreign and local cricket fans denied the opportunity to witness the matches. Issues over the sale of tickets for the 2012 ICC World 2020 in Sri Lanka. Low-priced tickets issued in lieu of high-priced tickets. When will there be an end to the cricket ticketing mafia?
In more local news, President of Seychelles, James Michel, who is currently on a 3-day official visit to Sri Lanka, visited the parliamentary complex this morning.
The President of Seychelles and his delegation was received by Speaker of Parliament Shamal Rajapaksa, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Chandima Weerakodi, Chief Government Whip Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and Chief Opposition Whip John Amartunga were among those present. The President of Seychelles also paid tribute to the War Heroes Monument located in Sri Javanapura Kote. Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resource Development Dr. Rajita Senaratne was present at the occasion.
A debate took place in Parliament today on the problems faced by the Tamil community post-war. Here are some of the views expressed during the debate.
Before you think in terms of any political solution or arrive at any political solution, the demographic composition of the North and the East would have been so altered, and the linguistic, cultural and religious identity of certain areas would have been so altered that there will be no conflict, no need for a political solution. Is that the agenda you're pursuing? We want to know. I mean, either you must stop these things, or you must say that these things are not happening, You can come with us and we'll show you these things happening.
This is not an isolated view. It is not an isolated view. It has very much in common with the assessments by almost everybody that went to the north and came back with their own genuine impressions. Did they say everything is dark and black and there is no redemption possible, there is no light at the end of the tunnel? Did any of them express such a view? So that is the reality of the situation.
The various projects implemented by this government with a view to developing those areas to re-establish the lives of the people in the north and east is commendable. However, I wish to bring to the notice of this House to the question whether our people really enjoy the benefits of those programs. One wonders the so-called Utturu Vasantaya and Neganahira Navodaya projects promoted by the government really bring Vasantaya and Navodaya into the lives of those people.
You're watching Primetime News live on News First. Up next is Action TV.
It is not for naught that Chandralal Fernando, a resident of Kaludaiwala, Panadura, spends his days on the street with these 48 buffaloes. If he had known that lands would be taken over to an extent where cows and buffaloes had nowhere to go, then Chandralal, who studied at Ananda College, Colombo, up to the advanced levels, would have given up his inheritance. Chandralal's father too inherited the occupations of paddy farming and shepherding from his father. But these 3 generations of farmers have no land to call their own. Chandralal's father commenced farming and shepherding on this 3-acre plot of land in Kaludaiwala, Panadura 52 years ago as a peasant. Chandralal too has been a peasant for 20 years. He protected his status in the face of thuggery. In 2004, they forcibly entered this paddy field and destroyed all the crops that were cultivated and attacked the animals and carried out an acid attack as well. They threatened me that I will be killed if I do not abandon this paddy field. The thuggery was the result of a heavyweight in the Western Provincial Council putting forward a proposal in 2004 to construct a sports ground on the land where this farm is situated. Chandralal defeated this proposal by successfully challenging it in court. However, these documents testify to the fact that organized attempts were made using political power to destroy this farm and use the land for other purposes. When thuggery and threats did not bear fruit, a gazette announcement was used to annul the peasant hold and deprive these buffaloes of grazing grounds. I stay awake at night in order to look after the animals. The animals are not secure and this is what we are faced with. When Chandralal says we, he is referring to these individuals as well. This place of shelter was constructed to celebrate the reign of a British king.
The police have commenced investigations into an incident where a prisoner had hurled feces at a judge presiding at the Chilau High Court.
A senior police officer in charge of the area said that the incident occurred inside the court premises this morning. Although the feces were hurled in the direction of a High Court judge, she was unaffected. The senior police officer said that while the Chilau police have commenced investigations into the incident, legal action will be taken against the relevant prison officials for neglect of duty. The prisoner involved in this incident is a suspect who has been held in remand custody for a long period of time on suspicion of committing rape.